Good evening, friends. A warm welcome to today's webinar. We will be sharing information on the Ph.D. program at IIM Bangalore. So in the panel, we have Professor Ananta Krishnamurthy. He is the chairperson of the Doctor of Philosophy, the Ph.D. program, and he is a professor in the area of decision science. He has completed his Ph.D. and MS from the University of Wisconsin and an alumni of IIT Bombay. Welcome you, Professor. We also have Mr. Balakrishna, the head marketing for degree programs at IIMB. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
We also have the representatives from the program office, Ms. Ashoka Nag, and we also have Mr. Saifullah Sharif, the administrative officer from the admissions. Welcome you, sir. And we have also with us our current class student, Karthik Ramaswamy, from the area of production and operations management. Welcome you, Karthik.
Hi.
So if you have any queries, please start entering into the Q&A toolbar. We'll compile and answer your queries. Now I invite Mr. Balakrishna to speak about the program. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Pramila. Before me starting the webinar, let me have a quick check about the technicalities. Karthik, just a voice check from your end. Audio check, Karthik.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Karthik, can you be a little more louder?
Can you hear me, sir? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Joel, since this webinar is live broadcast on YouTube, is the YouTube broadcast is on?
Yes, sir. We are live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube. Okay, thanks for confirmation. Let's start the webinar. Hi, friends. A warm good evening to all of you from IIM Bangalore. This is the webinar which is being conducted for PhD admissions program at IIM Bangalore. Admission is for 2024. And in this webinar, we are focusing mainly for students who wants to apply to PhD program through common admission test, which has been conducted in the year 2023, couple of months back in the month of November, and the results were announced in the last week. So we are focusing on candidates who are applied for PhD program, who have shown interest for a PhD program in their CAT application form. So this webinar is mainly focused on those candidates, and already we have shared an email link of the YouTube, and also we are requested for any queries that you want us to address during today's webinar, and we have received a good number of questions, and we have compiled all those questions in a buckets of program related, admissions related, and career related. After our presentation, we will be addressing all those questions. So with this, we are starting today's webinar. Today's webinar, we'll be focusing on a couple of first few slides about the program. Then we talk about, a few slides about the institute. Then slides about the program details. Then about the admissions. Then we have the current batch PhD scholar with us, Mr. Karthik, who is from the area of production and operations management. He will be sharing his experience about the program so far. So then we will open up for Q&A. So this is the schedule of today's webinar focused on PhD admissions 2024. So with this, I am starting the webinar. So as you all know, this is with respect to the PhD webinar at IIM Bangalore. We are started way back in 1973, and this is our silver jubilee year. And we have been ranked as the #2 as per the NIRF ranking, National Institute for Ranking Framework. So this is with respect to the management education in India. So we are spread over 106 acres at Bangalore. This is our first campus, and recently we started a second campus close to Bannerghatta National Park. And campus is well equipped with classrooms and students' accommodation, and the whole green campus, including the sports complex at IIM Bangalore. The vision of IIM Bangalore is to be a global renowned academic institution fostering excellence in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. These are the three areas we want to be in: management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And our target audience is for business, government, and society. So this is our focus, to be in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship area, and with the target audience of business, government, and society. So this is the vision of IIM Bangalore, and all our activities at IIMB is in line with the vision of the institute. This particular slide talks about the recent recognitions the institute has received. We are either number 1 or number 2 with respect to the different programs, both globally and internationally. And why I am sharing this particular slide is, this slide will give you the kind of the confidence that once you are a student at IIM Bangalore, you will be assured with the industry best education with respect to the management education. So that's the reason I am sharing this particular slide. And also the employers who will be coming for placement to any education institute, they will be looking at how does this institute performs in terms of ranking. So we have been at the top of their mind in terms of the rankings. Just a brief about the different programs at IIM Bangalore. We have a regular MBA program, the 2-year MBA program. That is a general management program, and also the program focused on business analytics. This is a 2-year full-time residential program. Predominantly admission is through the common admission test. Then we have a 1-year MBA program. This is for candidates with minimum 5 years of work experience, where admission is through the GMAT or GRE score. Then we have a 2-year weekend MBA program, where classes are conducted on Friday, second half, and Saturdays. This is with people with more than 4 years of work experience. And then we have our PhD program, and more details of that program follows in the next slides. The education institute, the quality of education institute, the success of education institutes depends on the faculties and the strength of the faculties. At IIM Bangalore, we are close to 150 faculties who are PhD or equivalent in their respective areas. In addition to teaching, they are actively involved in publications, papers, articles, and also case studies. So this gives you the kind of comfort that the faculties at IIMB are at notch with international standards, and you are with the best faculties in this respect. So with this, we will move on to the program presentation. Now I request Professor Anant Krishnamurthy to share more details about the program presentation. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you, Bala, and welcome to all of you. Thank you for taking time to attend this information session and also expressing interest in the doctoral program in management at IIM Bangalore. I am going to walk you through the structure of the program, how the process will look, and then I will hand it back to Bala to talk a little bit about the admissions process before we open it up to Q&As. Before I get into the structure, I want to point out one thing on the slide that you are seeing is the front page of our doctoral program website at IIM Bangalore. You can easily find it by searching for IIM Bangalore and looking for programs, and our doctoral program is right there on the first page. The doctoral program website has a lot of detailed information about what we do, the kind of research our students are doing, the process, the courses, and all of that. So we may not be able to cover everything in the webinar, but the website has a fair amount of information. We also have a LinkedIn page for the doctoral program, and we will share that link with you as well. And you should connect yourself to the LinkedIn page of the doctoral program, because that also gives you a lot of information about the kind of work that our doctoral students are doing. With that, let me get started. In terms of the vision, objective, and main goals of the program, we want to prepare students for careers in research and teaching in management. And our doctoral program is geared towards training students for those types of careers. Through the doctoral program, we definitely want to add to the body of knowledge available in management through the research that we conduct. We want to disseminate the knowledge that we create, and also in the process, perhaps implement some of the recommendations and impact policy application of these concepts. Our doctoral program in management has 10 specializations. In some of the other universities or colleges, you may think of these as departments. At IIM Bangalore, we call them areas of specializations. And I will walk you through these. Decision sciences is one of the areas that is where a lot of the mathematics or analytics part of things work. We have the economics area, which is similar to an economics department in many of the other colleges that have PhD program. We have a PhD program in entrepreneurship, and we are one of the few institutes to have a doctoral program in entrepreneurship. We have an incubator cell at IIM Bangalore, and our doctoral program leans heavily on that incubator cell. But the idea of the entrepreneurship PhD program is not to start a business, but it is to do research on why businesses work, how startups work, what have we learned about how startups work, and so on. We have a doctoral program in finance and accounting. We have a doctoral program in information systems that talks about digital transformation, generative AI, and several of those other exciting developments that are taking place these days. We have a doctoral program focused in marketing, organizational behavior, and human resource management, production and operations management. Karthik is on the webinar, is currently a student in that area. We have a doctoral program in public policy, and we have a doctoral program in the strategy area. We have 10 areas, and when you apply to the PhD program, as part of the application process, you can apply for admission into up to 2 areas. If you're not sure whether you're going to do a PhD in public policy or economics, you can apply for a PhD in both. Both of these areas will evaluate your application. And if you get an offer of admission from both, then at that time you will have to pick one. So when you start the doctoral program at IIM Bangalore, you will start the program in only one of these areas, even though at the application stage you may apply in 2 areas. Our doctoral program gives you a PhD in management. Okay, so just to clarify how these are, but you specialize in one of these areas, and it has implications in terms of coursework and research that you do. I will get into that details next. So the structure, our PhD program is a 5-year full-time program. We are not a part-time PhD program. So if you are working somewhere else currently, we would expect you to leave that employment and join the PhD program full-time. You cannot pursue the PhD program while you are employed elsewhere. It takes about 5 years to do the PhD program. We are not saying we want to hold you for 5 years, but usually students take 5 years. If you get done with all the requirements before 5 years, then you can graduate before that, and some students have done that too. What happens during the 5 years? The first 2 years is primarily focused on coursework. The coursework here is doctoral level coursework. This is not the MBA coursework that our MBA students do. We used to do that several years ago, but we have then switched over to specialized coursework for the PhD program, because what we heard from a lot of our doctoral students is that the MBA coursework doesn't really prepare them for research in management. It gives them an overview of management for industry practicing purposes, but not preparing them for research careers. So our doctoral courses are aimed at training students for research in management. In that context, over the 2 years, our students take about 18 courses, 9 in a year. Out of those 18, roughly 10 to 12 are from the area in which you are doing your specialization for your PhD. So if you're doing a specialization in economics, for example, you would do around 10 courses out of those 18 from the economics area, starting from foundational courses all the way to advanced doctoral level economics courses. And then the remaining 8 or so courses would be breadth courses that would be as electives, and you can take courses from any other disciplines. And it's not uncommon for our PhD students to take courses from strategy, marketing, decision sciences, public policy, even if they are doing a PhD in the economics area, for example. So the aim of these courses is to provide you depth and breadth for research purposes in the doctoral program. In addition, in the first 2 years, our students also do one-on-one research with faculty through independent study and research assistants. We do not expect our PhD students to join the program with a topic identified and a thesis guide identified. Some other universities expect that you have a topic and a guide. We don't expect that. In fact, we allow our doctoral students to work one-on-one with faculty, exploring research ideas, and figuring out what exactly that thesis topic might be. You may have an idea, but you are given up to a year and a half to 2 years to try working on those ideas as you take the courses to figure out whether that exactly is your topic. We find our students really like that flexibility, and the research assistantship and the independent studies that they do with individual faculty in the first 2 years provides them a good foundation for being very successful in research careers later on. Then at the end of 2 years, we expect the students to lock in their thesis topic and their thesis advisor. Their thesis advisor will be from the primary area that they are doing their PhD in. So if you are in the economics area, your thesis advisor will be from economics. And you would lock in your topic, and you would also put together a committee that we call as the Dissertation Advisory Committee. This committee has about 3 faculty, and you work with your main thesis advisor to figure out who the other 2 faculty might be. Sometimes one of those 2 faculty could be from the same area, just with a different type of expertise or skill set. Or you may even have faculty from other areas at IIM Bangalore. It is not uncommon for a student doing PhD in economics, for example, to have a faculty from the finance or the decision sciences or the public policy area, based on the nature of the research. In some cases, we also have students that have faculty that are from outside the institute, other institutes in India and even abroad, based on the expertise that that faculty brings in. The whole idea of this committee is to provide you with enough guidance and support for you to be successful in your doctoral research. During the course, our students also are teaching assistants. They support the teaching of our MBA classes, so they gain experience in how MBA courses are taught, because at the end of the day, we want you to be successful, not just as researchers, but also as educators standing in front of MBA classrooms and so on. Right? So that gives you roughly the structure of our 5-year PhD program. Next. In terms of funding and fellowship, we provide a fairly healthy package. All our PhD students get tuition fee waiver for the 5 years that they are there in the program, so you don't have to pay any tuition. It's not common for an MBA university to waive tuition fees, but for our PhD program, tuition fee is waived for all students. In addition, we also give all our PhD students a monthly stipend of 42,000. We understand some of you may have careers that you are quitting to join the PhD program. So this is a small compensation. It by no means compensates for your private or public sector salaries, but it at least takes care of a little bit of your living expenses. We also provide hostel accommodation for the 5 years that you are in the program. If you are single, you get the hostel accommodation. Unfortunately, we don't have married accommodation currently on campus, but there is plenty of married housing available within walking distance of the IIM Bangalore campus. Many of our PhD students that are married with families stay in those accommodations, and we provide a monthly subsidy of 20,000 for students that are in that situation. We also provide a startup grant, 75,000 in the first year, which allows students to buy laptops, books, and other things to get started on their research. And in years 2, 3, and 4, we provide our students contingency grants of 25,000 to take care of other educational expenses. Outside of this, we also provide all our PhD students a fairly healthy conference travel grant package, close to around 3.6 lakhs, which allows our students to attend multiple international conferences and several domestic conferences during the 5 years. We have students that as early as in their 2nd or 3rd year are presenting their research at international conferences that is funded by the institute. So we encourage our doctoral students to go, get the exposure, create the networks, and disseminate their research and learn from those types of experiences. Finally, we also have scholarships and incentives based on milestones and career progressions and other achievements during the program. what happens when you finish? Our PhD graduates are highly sought after, both in the country and abroad. So here, many of our alumni are faculty at many of the IIMs, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, Indore, and so on. In addition to the IIM system, a lot of our graduates are faculty in the management schools or other institutes at IIT, IISc, IIIT, SPJM, BITSOM, NMIMS, and so on. Several schools in the country really look at our PhD program to hire talent to staff their academic positions. Many of our students also take up faculty positions abroad. So University of Melbourne, the UAE, in Norway, in France, we have several of our alumni that are placed there. Some of them also take up postdoctoral positions at various leading institutes. A small fraction of our graduates also take up research positions in the private sector. It's not a big chunk, not because our program isn't good enough for that, but there aren't too many private sectors that have the opportunity to hire doctoral students, but especially the companies that have a strong research group and are looking for doctoral student expertise will be looking at our PhD program to recruit from. So that gives you a good overview of the doctoral program. I will perhaps hand it to Karthik a little bit to perhaps maybe say take a minute or two to talk about his experience in the doctoral program before I hand it back over to Bala. So Karthik, do you just want to talk a little bit about your experience so far in the doctoral program?
Yes, Doctor. Okay, so hi everyone. So I am Karthik. I'm a third year PhD student in the production and operations management area at IIM Bangalore. And so my experience has been that, as already mentioned, so the doctoral program at IMB is a rigorous program, mainly targeting and oriented towards research. So so from the admission to, so once you enter the program, so it is as already mentioned, the coursework is focused upon research, so that the coursework that you do here is directly you can apply it to your research, and various other parts of the coursework is also like the IS, the RA, the independent studies are all designed in a way to focus your attention towards research. For example, many of my independent studies are now the IS that I did in my first 2 years in the program is now I'm converting that into my thesis chapters. So the experience so far has been good. Like if you are focused on, if you are serious about research and if you want to pursue research and teaching as a career, then so the IMB doctoral program serves that purpose, and you will enjoy doing research oriented courses, and you will enjoy you will become a you will become more professional in research, and which is what I think is the program has served the purpose. So it is specifically for people who are very much aligned to research.
Thank you, Karthik. So I will also pull you in again for a Q&A. So there are a lot of questions with respect to the programs and the experience of the program and the program structure. So those questions will be directed to you. So now let me go to the admissions. So admissions for PhD program at IIM Bangalore for 2024. There are two links on your screen. The first one is admission page link with respect to the PhD program. There you will get all details about the PhD admissions. One is the admission process. Another one is the area-wise admission process. So each area, all 10 areas will have a separate admission process. Please go through that admission process of your area of interest in detail before submitting your application. That gives you a fair idea of how the selection process will be. And then we have the next link is a LinkedIn link with respect to the PhD program at IIM Bangalore. This is quite active link, both present scholars and the recent pass out PhD scholars of IIMB. They're active in this link and they are sharing a lot of their research activities. So please be part of that and interact with them. based on your interest. The admissions, the eligibility is we require a master's degree in case if you are coming from a bachelor's degree, which is of 3 years of a bachelor's. So then we need a master's degree. Or if you are coming from a integrated master's degree, that is also we accept, because certain universities are providing bachelor's and master's degree integrated. So integrated master's degree is also accepted. Or a postgraduate diploma of 2 years. Postgraduate diploma of 2 years is accepted at IIMB as one of the admissions requirement in terms of your academics. Then candidates with professional qualification like CA, ICWA, or CS or cost accounting, so they are also eligible, provided they have their graduation either in terms of commerce or any other graduation. So graduation is a must. And then graduates who are having a 4 years of graduation degree or 8 semesters, or a graduation which is of more than 4 years. For example, the MBBS degree, which is of more than 4 years, or a architects, which is of more than 4 years of a bachelor's degree, they are also eligible to apply in terms of the academic requirement. And the minimum percentage of marks which is required for these things is minimum 55% marks in right from your 10th standard is what we look at. And with respect to CA, ICWA, it has been minimum 50% marks is what we want. You should have attained that percentage of marks. And then as per the government of India, we follow the reservations for SC, ST and non-creamy OBC candidates. And there is a relaxation of 5% of marks in terms of the eligibility requirement. Then moving on to the admission tests. As Professor already mentioned, there are 10 areas of specialization that you can you can choose from at IIM Bangalore. Of these 10 areas, you can choose any 2 areas to apply. And your selection process will be followed according to your area of selection. And there are certain acceptable tests that are required for each of these area. For example, the decision science area considers the admission test scores of GMAT, GRE, CAT, GATE, JRF, and also IIMB test. So you should have any one of these tests. So candidates who are applying through CAT, in case if they find that their score at this point of time is not representing the real what they are, and they are a better candidate than the CAT score what they are at this point of time, then they can apply through the IIMB test. IIMB test is conducted on 28th of January. I'll be giving more details about the IIMB test in the next slides. So similarly, people who are willing to apply for the economics area, so there is no need of any test score which is required at the time of submitting your application. But after you submit your application, there will be a separate area test for students who are opting for economics area. So similarly, for example, from the production and operations area, people who are opting for that, except for the JRF, all other test scores are considered. So people with the JRF score, they cannot apply for the production and operations area. And if they want to apply for production and operations area, either they should have GMAT, GRE, or CAT, GATE, or in case at this point of time they don't have any of these scores, they can submit their application by indicating the IIMB test, that they will take up the IIMB test. After indicating the IIMB test, there is a separate application form for the IIMB test in our admission process document, in our admission process portal. So you should go to the IIMB test application and submit the IIMB test application separately. So let me repeat, IIMB test is a separate test and also a separate application, and your PhD program application is also a separate application, and you should submit those two separately so that you will be eligible for admissions when you are applying through the IIMB test. The selection process is, once you submit your application form, again, this application form involves certain areas like SOP, statement of purpose. And if you are applying for 2 areas, maximum you can choose 2 areas. Then if you are choosing 2 areas, we need 2 SOPs, SOP for each of those areas separately. Then we need 2 LORs. LOR is same for both the areas, so there is no need of separate LORs. Only 2 LORs are required per application. And also how LOR works is in our application process, there is a module for LOR. You should give the contact detail of your referee, their name, email ID, and the contact number. And our system generates an email to the referee saying candidate so-and-so is applying for a PhD program at IIMB, and we would like to know your feedback about the candidate with respect to the research activities. So the referee will respond to that email. And once we receive that email in our application portal, then you as a candidate will get a confirmation referee so-and-so has submitted his reference letters. Like this, once you receive both the confirmation emails from the IIMB, then only you can go ahead and submit your application form. Even if one referee has submitted his reference letter and other referee is not able to submit his reference letter, then you as a candidate, you cannot submit your application form. For that purpose, in case if the referee is not accessing emails or he is out of country, he is not accessing, he's in a place where he is not able to respond. So in that situation, you as a candidate can choose to change the referee up to 8 times. Please make use of this opportunity in case if your referee is not responding to the emails sent by IIMB with respect to your reference letters. You can change the referee and ensure that the referee responds to the reference letters and submit his reference letters well within the application deadline, so that you can submit your application well before the deadline. So once the application is submitted, there will be a short list of candidates for the interview. This short list will happen with respect to the area wise, and all areas will go through the applications, and they will, it is a holistic evaluation they do, like considering your 10th, 12th and the graduation marks, then any activities which is related to the research related that you have done so far, and then your interest in that research side of it, then the admission test scores, then your work experience, all those things are considered, and based on that they will shortlist candidates for the further round of interview. Then interview weightage is also added to your initial score, and then we come across a comprehensive score. So based on the comprehensive score, the final offers are made to the candidate. Wherever there is an area test, after shortlisting of candidates, there will be an area test, and the area test score also will be considered before shortlisting the candidates for the interview. And moving on to the application fees, if you are applying for one area, it is 1,000 rupees, and if you are applying for 2 areas, it is 1,500 rupees as your application fees. Let's talk about the IIMB test. The IIMB test this year we conducted. There are 2 rounds of IIMB test. First round is already completed on 19th of November. The second test is on 28th of January. And 25th of January is last date to submit your application for IIMB test. Even to submit your PhD application is also on last date to submit your PhD application is also on 25th January. So please ensure that you submit your IIMB test applications first before 25th January, and on the same day you can submit your PhD application also. Then after submission of your IIMB application, you will get an invite to participate in the IIMB test, which is going to be an online test, and you can take this test from wherever you are. And the test is on 28th January for a duration of 2 hours. Just looking at the timelines for the PhD application. So application is open now, and 25th January is the last date to submit your application by 5 p.m. Please note that 5 p.m. on 25th January is the deadline to submit your application. And IIMB test is conducted on 28th January, and last date to submit your application for IIMB test is also on 25th January. And short list of candidates will be announced on 15th of January, and area test will be conducted on 1st and 2nd of March. Interviews will be on 7th to 10th of March. Interviews will be a face-to-face interview at IIMB campus, and offers will be made in the mid of March. And acceptance is in the month of last week of March. So this is the time schedule for IIMB PhD admissions. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation with respect to the program. I have given you the link there, the application link. So iimb.ac.in/admissions. So you can start filling your applications from this portal. And also you have some contact details and email IDs on your screen. Still, if you have any doubts or clarification, even after this webinar, please talk to us or write to us, and we are there to respond to your queries.